welcome back to King of Cakes. This is a RiverBank game that we've been playing. We've done one. This is going to be our second part entitled Birthday Surprise. Um, RiverBank games start with the between times, which basically tell the story about what has happened in between um, the times that we're playing. That's it's pretty cut and dry. Um, with this being our first true between times between two separate games, we're actually going to be utilizing the between time cards, and we are going to add those elements into the narrative. So what I would like for you all to do is you should see a deck at the bottom right corner of the map, and if you grab a hold of that top card and pull it towards the field and place it, should give you, well, it's basically just a Hoyle deck, so you should get a resultant. Yeah, just put it near your token on the map, if you would.
Do you see mine? Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yes, I
I
see other people's.
see other people's. Yeah, everybody's flipped. Cool, cool, cool. So we'll zoom in there a little bit, and we'll start at the top. Starting with you, Zach. No pressure. So for the between times, you just kind of give us an idea of what you've been doing for the last 2 months, to make sure that we put in an element of narrative, kind of just thrust. Um, John, your character um, has relative, a relative that you know has, as far as we understand, given you problems in the past, but lives up in Scotland, correct? Vincent Abernathy, I believe his name is. John, you there?
Yes.
Okay. So, interesting fact. So, remember how a train came and picked up the cake at the end of last episode?
No.
Yeah, so
That cake
a
and that train was your father.
the cake and the train were your father. Wait, it's not even your father. But your relative, Vincent Abernathy, was on that train and deposited himself thereafter. So, as you were tired and restless from the night of hard baking, he was settling himself in here, in your um, home, as he will be staying with you for a time. This time being through the months that we are doing the downtime. And it's completely random who I selected would be kind of affected by their uh, annoying relative. But moving on from that, Zach, just broadly, what do you think that Shelby's been up to since the contest?
I imagine Shelby was pretty disappointed in his baking skills and for absolutely no reason has devoted the last 2 months to reading every baking cookbook that he could get his hands on and trying but failing consistently to get better at baking.
Perfection. So just practicing, or rather, just putting forward effort.
Right, because if you'll remember, he does not have an oven, so he just keeps trying to do baking in a pot over an open flame and has no measuring cups or any way to, like, do the recipes well. He's just trying.
Doing
This little guy trying.
doing his best. Okay. So with that, what the card that you've drawn represents states the following: a friend, cousin, sibling, or parent asked you for a favor. Who was it? This is not an appalling relative, um, so it doesn't have to be, um, anybody we've already created.
I imagine that Shelby doesn't have any siblings that or at least like from a brood that he cares to maintain a relationship with, so it's probably like a parental figure. I'd say let's go with dad.
Okay. And why or what was the favor?
He asked me to write a letter to my dying grandmother, his mother, who has not been feeling well and loves to hear from her children and grandchildren. So, as a favor to my father, I took the time to write a very kind note to his mother, saying how much I miss her and every update on my life I could give her, yada yada yada.
Okay. So how hard was it? Like it sounds like that your father was asking you to write a letter of your own, not draft a letter because he was incapable of drafting a letter from his perspective. He just wanted to make sure that
Correct.
she felt loved in this time of trial and wanted you to also put forward a note.
Right. It was less a request and more of a guilt trip.
Yeah.
Of like, when's the last time you've written your grandmother? And, you know, she loves reading your letters, and she's been feeling under the weather, and reading one of your letters would really pick her up. And I'm sure if you could find the time in your busy schedule, and it's like, yeah, I can. It's just like sitting down and writing a letter when I want to do other things.
So yeah,
It's not a
difficult.
big ask, but it is a subtle emotional ask.
It probably started off a situation where you, or rather Shelby was like writing during the moments where baking was happening, or during a moment where like something was kind of resting or at rest as far as baking goes. So you did say yes. You did accept the favor. And what were the consequences of you saying yes? Does your did you already finish it?
I'd say I'm about to finish it as the game starts. I've been
Okay.
working really hard on this letter.
And so the
Like,
consequences of you kind of, it sounds like effectively dilly dallying on it.
yeah.
What are the consequences, do you think?
I imagine I've gotten multiple subtle requests, and each request gets less subtle from my father until this last one comes from, like, my mother, for example. That's, like, raised the stakes as, like, write
Yeah.
this fucking letter. Your dad won't shut the fuck up about your mother.
And she,
About
and,
his
she,
mother.
and I'm assuming she used your full name, right?
Mhm.
Like very serious business. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we might involve that in the birthday setup here. That's definitely great. Moving on down, looks like we're going to be talking about Montgomery Abernathy. As mentioned at the beginning, you obviously have a bit of a guess. Your appalling relative is living with you and has been since the event. With the card that you have flipped, it appears that that is a Four of Hearts. Um, Wow. I think this works perfectly. It seems like the odds have kind of made it a situation where we don't really need to stretch out our legs too far. A friend or family member from out of the area came for a short visit. Is it your appalling relative? I'm going to say yes, but you could say otherwise. If you want to have two people who have come to visit you, we can do that.
Let's see. He'd be more annoyed by just the appalling relative,
Okay.
but let me do this.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's the appalling relative.
Okay. And they're still staying with you. What have they been doing while they've been there with you?
Talking about their freaking what is it? They're right. Let me. They're writing their memoirs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, writing their memoirs, and they're also forgetful because he's just trying to do his work around the house, work around the homestead. He keeps just being followed around by Vincent, just being like, "Do you remember that time when blah blah blah? You remember this?" And he's like, "You need to let me get it done."
And so
being pissed the whole time and crabby and.
What are they wanting to do, like, while they're here? Do they have some history with the area, and that's why they're here to try and kind of, like, give them a bit more of, like, like an immersive writing perspective? Or is it something else? Are they here for a different purpose?
Um,
Are they here to see you? Or are they doing something
yeah,
beyond?
well, I mean, yes, because they need help writing their shit, but
So they are mainly here for you, and perhaps maybe even your friends. We have an understanding that Shelby's a bit of a writer. We have an understanding that these kind of perspectives are present. So yeah, that sounds about fair. Anything else you want to add
I would
to?
love to dump. I would love to dump them on Shelby a couple days so he can get
It's
some work done.
let's go ahead and engage in that interaction. So Shelby, you are currently looking at a situation where your kitchen, stoveless, is a mess, and you are doing your best to try and kind of bake with just like a open flame or kind of just like typical kitchen fire. Um, you have a table not too far away in the nook that has like drafts that have been kind of crumpled up and thrown to the ground, or like just like a pen kind of laying in the ink, and then you hear a knock on the door. On the opposite side of that door, we have two goofy looking badgers. Need I remind you? Just want to make sure it's this guy and it's this guy, and they're just outside. Hmm. One of them doesn't realize they're being discarded. Um, whereas,
And he's still talking. He's still just being
yeah,
like, "Oh, you remember that time?" And, oh no, it wasn't like that. It was
Have
like
I
this.
met Vincent before,
well, no,
John?
yes, your call actually. What do you want to say on that? Do you want to have or no?
I meant the other John. I was gonna make him make the call.
I'm gonna say no
Okay.
Ah,
because it'll be easier to.
Montgomery! Who's this lovely young lad you've got with you today?
No,
Hey
so,
there, this is my cousin Vincent. He's starting to write his memoirs,
Vincent will offer their
so I
hand.
figured.
Gracefully receives it.
Hello.
So I figured as good of a writer as you are, maybe you could give them some pointers.
Pointers? You know I'm
Yeah.
not a biographer, right?
Sure, but writing is it's all the same, isn't it?
That's like
I don't
saying
really
to a
dabble
plumber,
myself.
you can carve a tree, right? The plumbing, carving, same thing. But I'm happy to spend some time with him if you'd like to come into my home.
I
Oh, wonderful! Yeah.
suppose. What's
Will you
going
be
on?
joining us, Montgomery?
Oh, I just gotta go to the store and grab a couple things. I'll be back, and then we can see if you've been able to help him at all.
I've just finished drying some lovely apricots.
So-
So go lovely.
I'm
And just like kind of leads him into the
I imagine the scene is this: like you kind of turn and kind of like look back at the kitchen and are getting ready to kind of like invite Vincent in. Based on what Montgomery sounded like, you're just running away at this point, right, Montgomery?
Oh, he's halfway down the road.
Okay. So when you turn back from the apricot check, you realize that it is just Vincent, and he looks at you and goes, "Oh." Huh. And you can see his face, just he's absolutely crestfallen as he's kind of looking out after his cousin. And he says, "Yes, that sounds lovely."
Come inside. We'll have some tea.
And he will sit with you. And he doesn't talk very much. Um, he just seems very tepid.
I think Shelby would be polite enough to recognize the sadness in Vincent and spend a lot of time poking and prodding him about his family and his book and what he's writing to force him to talk.
Yeah, and he will start talking about his past and his history, and you kind of gather that the reason why he came out and came to be with Montgomery for a time, it seems like a lot of the details he kind of runs into these like dead ends, right? He's
Hmm.
not really finishing the stories, and some of the parts that you, from a storyteller's perspective, are kind of understanding that like these are important bits, and it seems like he's cognizant enough to understand that these are very important parts,
Important bits, yeah.
but he doesn't remember them. And knowing Montgomery, who's a very detail oriented, fixer upper kind of guy, it's probably the case that he is aware of the details, but your presumption of Montgomery is that having someone doting on those details and asking all the time without understanding the why is probably why Montgomery has
Mhm.
deposited him into your home.
Can I try to write down the questions that seem to light up Vincent more than others?
Yeah,
So when Montgomery comes back, it's like, here's 10 things he wants to tell you and clarify and talk to you about. Like, I can't help him because I'm not his family, but take this page tomorrow, go through it. I think that will help.
absolutely. And what you'll notice is when those questions come up, the ones that like are very poignant as far as you understand, when
Mhm.
he kind of reaches for the answer but doesn't really know, there's this initial kind of like asking you as if you were there, and you obviously aren't, um, or weren't rather. And then he kind of realizes that and kind of like uh, just seems defeated by the process in its entirety.
Cool.
Okay. So Montgomery, you get some work done around the house and out and about. So great. Moving on then to looks like Brent, you flipped a queen of clubs,
Yeah.
and that
Do I get
means
the wish spell now?
not a deck of many things. Don't be silly. Queen of clubs. Suddenly, it seems as though everyone wanted to be with you. So it seems like a lot more people have been coming around, trying to talk to you, trying to hang out with you. What changed that made you so interesting?
Does it have to be a good thing that they're coming around to see me, or can it be a bad thing?
They are wanting to be with you. So
Okay.
if it was a bad thing, I presume it wouldn't be. They'd want to be with you. They would probably be gossiping about you, but it's not that.
That's
Instead,
fair.
they're
That's fair.
like
That's fair.
they're coming around the house saying, "Hey, what are you up to?" They're inviting you to functions. They're making it very hard for you to avoid going to those functions. What
I
was
am
it?
doing my best to avoid doing that. But
Yeah,
yeah. So I would imagine it's probably like out of boredom and with the thought of, he was probably destroying gardens at some point. He's probably ran around and offered to help people, clean up their gardens, and it's kind of like budded from there. And after doing it, he's realized that now people are always coming around. He's like, no, I can't go on my adventures now. What the heck?
great. So has this kind of created a skill for you that is kind of developing, that you're improving, or is it a new skill that you're kind of developing? Do you think that Reed had like done cleanup work or done kind of repair work, or maybe even some? Because again, we did learn about your turnip bashing. Maybe some actual gardening has actually taken place from Reed's position.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably he's never done any of it. He's more of the destroy it and let someone else figure it out later. So he's definitely it's new to him to not be the destroyer.
Right. And is there like a story going around about you, like regarding this? And if so, like what are the details of that?
Uh, I'd say there probably is like a small one going around, like, oh yeah, he's like super helpful. Like he just offers to help. I mean, he was a little troublemaker in the past, but he's definitely changed. He's a lot better now.
And I think this best plays into kind of a relationship that we developed in the first game, Karen Mildred Cunningham, which as we recall, is Willie's um, favorite relative.
Just my great aunt.
Yeah. I think that it's fair to say that they are the one that you kind of started helping first, and it kind of spread out from there. So I think that first initial kindness has kind of revolved around kind of a story going around that you are like a young little Montgomery. Montgomery was very helpful with a lot of people and stuff, and it seems like you're being kind of a bit of a, you know, a busybody, but one that's kind of willing to do odd jobs for the older, um, more kind of rattle bones individuals in the community in RiverBank. Great. I think that's about there. And then last but certainly not least, this guy. Oh my god. Every time I see your character art, I always just get so fucking happy. Hold on a second here. Wait, did that close? No. Unacceptable. Who's messaging me right now?
I can tell you at least it's not me.
Not me.
I'm about to say we can narrow it down a little bit.
Not me.
Was me.
Also, I know it's a lot out of order, but it's a good thing that you took your relative with stories to Shelby, because if you brought them to me, they'd have been fighting dragons in those stories.
God damn.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Alright. Sorry, everything got closed. And I can't spell good.
You know,
Either.
4 of spades. You think you saw something strange during the time away. But besides that, before we kind of get into the details on that, is there anything that you want to kind of reflect on or kind of put to what you've been doing in the downtime, Willie?
Well, he had to go about fixing up his bike again after the last adventures of hauling around many a large creature compared to himself. So he had to take his time working on that, trying to still keep up with helping anyone who needs their bikes or any small motor stuff fixed as he went along. Um, at some point, he definitely would have went over to Shelby's house just to say, yes, your cooking was good, as per the deal. Um, um, but other than that, he's just been tinkering away, making sure everything can work a little easier next time, be a little less in the question. And man, is it fun to use the I picked the believes in the unexplained in the writing, so this is awesome. Oh.
Okay. And then, so for the strange something, it seems that, okay, so you saw something that was relatively strange compared to normal times during this process. Where was it that you saw this, and when? Do you suppose in a 2-month span?
Oh, but what was it? um, let's go with I was walking to Shelby's house that day, and as I was walking up the river right past young Reed's house, I thought I saw a fairy just floating around. And Shelby scorned me for being late that day because I chased it through the woods. But I had to find it. They're real, and you just have to prove it. I don't like telling Reed that I think they're real because he tries to get me to go on these grand adventures for oh, just dumb things like dragons, but fairies and gnomes, they exist,
They
and
do.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't.
So
You,
I,
They do.
Reed's going to get it wrong, right? Reed's going to think that
yeah,
turnips are them, and they're not. Like they're not goblins. They're, I mean, they're turnips. So yeah, absolutely. Like it feels like there's a kind of a personal adventure. So you thought it was like something supernatural. We're leaning specifically into kind of a fairy, right?
yeah. Let's do a fairy.
Okay. Um, and
Like I saw a little light floating around in some of the darker spots in the woods near that Wendell, that big old curve right there, and I just chased it in there and flew up to some of the branches and looked around and just I couldn't find it again, but I swear I saw it and I kept it to myself mostly because well I don't want people looking at me that way.
hmm. So yeah, I mean, why? I mean, we kind of covered it a bit, but like obviously, Willie is a bit more fantasy oriented, like very focused on like there being these supernatural elements to the land of Riverbank and the world in general. So that pretty much covers why you thought that that was a fairy, and that was the case. Did anyone else see it, or did anyone else see you go into the woods?
The only one that could have was Reed, so that is up to Reed if he saw me go into the woods.
Reed was pretty busy doing all of the helpful work around, but maybe.
I'm gonna say that he didn't, because if he did, he would have followed you into the woods.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good assumption.
But to kind
Yeah,
of
no. As soon as like someone frolics in the woods, he's right behind them.
put a point on it too, it could be the case that Willie thinks that Reed saw, and there's like a bit more of a paranoia on Willie's side because Reed was around your house at the time. Because again, remember, Reed was helping
My great aunt,
your
yeah,
relative, yeah.
that
So
old bat.
it it could be the case that you think Reed is just like maybe he saw it and knew about it, and like you don't want to talk to him about it because he's gonna be he's not gonna be as smart about it as you are, right? He's gonna say things that are not smart, and it'll make you feel less smart because of his thoughts on it, right? Great. So have you told anybody else though? Have you told anybody about what you saw?
No, no, no. Because last time I did, no one believed me. Of course, I see how people react to this stuff. So
Yeah.
until I have proof, I gotta keep it to myself. Also, I don't want a bunch of people trying to look for it.
Because
It
I want
takes
to
the
find
fun
it,
out of it.
and then it'll grant me a wish, because that's what fairies do, right? Who knows?
They steal mostly children in this time era.
Well, you're not a child, so then maybe they'll. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm the size of one. Um,
Fair, fair. But to kind of put it to like, yeah, you also look at like, obviously you don't tell Reed. We already covered why. You wouldn't tell Montgomery. Montgomery seems to be very kind of
grounded.
grounded, and Shelby might be someone you might engage with in that, but like also seems a bit skeptical and kind of like a bit more, high.
Shelby's gonna ask too many questions. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Like Shelby will buy in, but Shelby's gonna ask so many questions that you don't feel like answering that you don't
I
even
don't
bring
want to.
it up.
I don't want to bring
Don't
those
don't
books.
don't open up that door.
That could that
Fucking annoying asshole.
Well, that could be the point though too, right? Because like the last time, remember you said there was the last time, and like if they made you think that like it was fake because they asked a bunch of questions, like it could have been Shelby that was like the real driver of that like skepticism initiative, and maybe the way that Shelby asked the questions seemed like very sarcastic or very kind of like oh they don't
Accusatory. Yeah.
yeah they don't believe what I'm saying. They think I'm making it up. I'm not going to answer any more questions. Forget it. And then just kind of like, left kind of situation. Perfect. So we've got everybody's between times locked in. The driving force of what is happening in the world around you. And you have a bit more time than just a night to kind of throw yourself to the kind of situation and make, the situation work like last time. But there's a understanding that a very important individual, a very important guest, has come to town. Um, and you would know that that individual is Vincent Abernathy. Um, they have a life that is worthy of memoir, right? Despite everybody kind of being like, you know, noticeably and kind of like differential to this individual. But he has arrived in town because a lot of people in RiverBank um, are old friends of his. Um, he kind of moved back to the family, like homestead, after spending a decent amount of his young adult life uh, in RiverBank. And that's why Montgomery has been able to kind of establish himself here with relative ease, is due in part to those old friendships. Vincent Abernathy used to hang out with, um, you know, Graham Mitchell Venger, um, like a bunch of other kind of individuals who you are aware of or related to that are present in the town, um, and is well liked. Um, it is incumbent upon Montgomery, once the kind of idea that this very important person, your relative, um, is going to be expected to have a party that some of his friends are going to chip in, but you're the relative, and your friends are the closest thing you have to being able to make this notable, worthwhile. So you have to throw a party. That's what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and pass the ball to John, and let's see where you go with that.
Uh, never thrown a party before.
It's John
Uh,
or Montgomery.
Well, what'd you do in real life the last time you had to have a party? A big one.
right. This is it.
No, I was making a joke about
Uh,
how when you,
I know.
yeah, and then Zach. So right, that was the bit. Sorry, continue.
I'm gonna need help from people who go to parties.
Who do you know
We're,
that
we're
goes
talking
to
about a
bar?
party for a very old man. So
Oh, not a
I
lemon
think some
party.
bowls of Werther's Originals.
Not a lemon party.
I think I would be thinking more like a nice like charcuterie board, like one of those like festival style parties where there's like a fire pit, there's seating, like hay seating and things of that nature. And you could just have a nice food spread that's like come and grab up what you want and walk back to the fire as the old
Some
man tells
fireworks.
stories. Like it's not going to be a
I
huge thing. There aren't that many
no.
people that would show up or be
Gotta
allowed
get
onto
the
the
boys
property.
together for this.
So
I guess he'll definitely want to talk to Shelby.
Well, I think the same kind of methodology. If you're just wanting to gather the group, just say you're like, you know,
Yeah.
you reach out to everybody and tell them to meet. And
Everybody gathers at Cobblestone Hall. Or Collywobble Hall. Jesus, Cobblestone. What am I?
Help.
help,
so
help me.
at Collywall Hall, you all arrive. Um, I presume we're still in a state of bakery disrepair in the kitchen, or have we mastered our cooking? Do you think?
I imagine that he cleaned up all of the stuff, but like there's still too much flour in that. kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the attentive people who know how a kitchen should look are probably like Reed, because I think Reed has a cookery. Will probably be like, huh, kind of situation.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
with his new goody two shoes cleaning everything up bent that he's on, maybe he will start helping you clean that. But I also assume that the table in the nook, where you've been drafting letters, you kind of push those away somewhere as well.
Mhm.
Are those visible or kind of tucked away and hidden?
They're probably visible, but not in the same like open room that we all gather in. They're probably tucked away into a side office. Like Collywobble Hall is pretty decent size,
Yeah.
so I imagine there's multiple rooms, and he's just, instead of having it out in the main room, has tucked it away into an office or a music space or some shit.
Yeah, it's doubtless the case that the only reason he was writing on the Nook is he probably has his own office, right? But the only reason he was
Yeah.
doing that is because he wasn't really engaged fully in the writing. It was also the baking, and it was like I can do both tasks if both tasks are nearby. Um,
And in actuality, only did one.
yeah, ruined an entire cake because ink from the fingertips.
Created a whole new kink.
Yeah, ruined an entire like draft of the lettering because frosting. Like, yeah, we either side ruined by the other. Perfect, but you're all arrived. And then yeah, I'll leave it to you.
Vincent wouldn't be here anymore, would he?
No, so Vincent, that would have been a while ago. You dumped.
Yeah, that's
that
what I
on.
thought.
It's probably the first time that you've met up with Shelby since that event, and I assume since like Shelby, you probably were kind of like kindly letting Vincent kind of go with Montgomery. It probably wasn't the best time to hand over the questions, so that might be something that's handled here. And then I would say too that the walk home was better than you expected, Montgomery. It seemed that Vincent was in high spirits after spending a day with Shelby, and so you're kind of happy that it happened. Yeah.
Does Montgomery have home postal service?
No.
Just want to make sure you folks understand the table is yours. You've all arrived at Pollywobble Hall and are waiting. You were brought here because of Montgomery. You're waiting for him to kind of explain what's going on.
Well, thank you all for being here. I need a favor. While I need to throw a party for my dear cousin Vincent.
The really old one?
On one of these. Yes. Yeah, I've never really done that before, so I could use some help.
Well, he was a lovely individual when he was here before. Do
Who
you
was?
know if he has any preferences, or is there a direction we should start in? Do we have a theme?
I do not.
So-
You
You've done none of the legwork so far in deciding,
Yeah,
thinking,
I've done-
or considering
yeah.
even what this would look like, where it would be, who should be in attendance, or what we should theme it around. Have you?
haven't you been around him for multiple months?
I still get disappointed every time. Oh, sorry, you around Vincent.
Good one. That caught me off guard.
Damn.
Too funny.
I hate to say he interrupts me so much that I just trying to do my tasks and I spent most of my time trying to answer whatever questions he's answering me while I'm trying to work, and I don't have much time to think of that.
Did you ever get a chance to nail down the details of Tabernacle Lake? He seemed very interested in that story.
Tabernacle Lake.
I actually wrote down a few things, if you'd like. Things he seemed very interested in discussing, and I don't know if you've had a chance.
Yeah, sure, hand them over.
Hands over a list of like 10, 12 things. Like comments, locations, or just like memories that time when so-and-so was with so-and-so.
Yeah, and the details of which are going to be known to you primarily, John. I think that
Right.
Zach, if he is feeling kindly, can definitely do a pitch and like leave out an element. But if the stories are kind of like um, best defined, it'd just be from Montgomery's perspective. And yeah, it doesn't matter what the details are. Make it up as you like.
Oh, well, not prepared. At all.
Do you think we could perhaps make a party around any of these sorts of stories? There's the one summer where I think there were was it maggot pups? Like lollipops that you made with some kind of insect or something? It didn't really make sense to me, but he was very excited about the idea.
Oh, yeah, no, our families, dig them up, give them little furries, and once they're on the stick,
And then you just you suck it?
well, you kind of bite into it. It's like a frozen treat.
So could we make some of those? Let's think about other things that your cousin likes.
While this is going on, Reed has definitely probably wandered to the kitchen and started cleaning it up. And like midway through, he'll holler back, "Shelby, your kitchen's fine, but you're missing a lot of fish. There's no fish in here.
I don't have a freezer, Reed.
You're supposed to put them in a freezer?"
That's
Most of the time.
how I was taught.
I just set them
It's
by
not
the
time
stove.
for it's not time for ice block deliveries either.
Well, we've
If
learned
we're doing
Reed
a
is
party,
eating
can I get
spoiled
fireworks?
fish.
Yes, I think fireworks are great for a old man that.
Is his heart good?
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to make it his last birthday party.
No, definitely no. No. Should probably at least finish that damn book before.
Do you know where you'd like to have this party? At your home?
We could set it up near the kind of near the river where I don't want it at my home. I'd rather not have it at my home.
Are
I think
you
an outside
thinking
venue
like
would be good.
we set up a big tent for everybody with tables and chairs underneath it and we do some sort of catered event, or just cake and drinks? Is there going to be entertainment?
Definitely drinks is a good idea. No, we should definitely do drinks.
One quick addition, just to toss it in there. One thing that you would have noticed, Shelby, from the stories, the ones that are the most interesting, it seems like Vincent is a very outdoorsy kind of guy. He likes sports. He likes playing. The one with the hammer when you hit it under the things. I don't.
Croquet.
That's it. Yeah, I don't do sports. Sorry. That one.
As his picture shows.
Yes.
He loves cricket.
He is but he's kind of more like outdoorsy. He's kind of like being outside, which again, like obviously Montgomery is that as well, right? And that's why they kind of get along when they do. But as like they've grown on in years, obviously Vincent has been a bit more doddering, kind of like, you know, not exactly.
Can't participate in the log toss anymore when you're in your fucking 70s.
Right.
So easy field, maybe like easy field day games or something like that, like croquet and I don't know any
Ring
others.
toss.
Ring toss, horseshoes.
Yeah. And maybe set it up
Lawn
outside.
darts,
Hell
the
yeah.
safest of
Yeah,
all games.
long darts. Yeah, long darts.
This is supposed to take place in like the Victorian times. We still got land darts. We can do it. But yeah, probably more outdoors.
What about bog snorkeling?
It's a bit weird.
Doily flunking?
Are you just-
Doily
And
flying.
Are you just making up shit? Like, are you googling?
No,
A
I-
match
I-
car
I-
rally.
What was it? Swamp snorkeling?
bog snorkeling.
The fuck is that? Use my language.
Competitors must compete 2 consecutive lengths of a water-filled trench cut through a peat bog in the shortest time possible.
Oh my god, it's real. Okay. Yeah, that's a
Doily
thing.
flunking.
Doily flogging?
Dwilly flonking, an East England sport in which competitors use a pole to launch a beer-soaked cloth at opponents. If you miss your target twice in a row, a flonker must quickly drink a pot of ale before the opposing team, standing in a circle, could pass around a rag one to the other.
Also known as nerdling. That's awesome.
Wow.
Well, we're learning a lot tonight. Okay, yeah, these are great options. And learning.
Wheelbarrow race.
I know that one. Three-legged race.
Oh, haggis hurling.
Scottish, right?
There we
Because
go.
haggis is Scottish, or is it? Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, haggis hurling. I just
Is a
wanted-
Scottish sport involving the hurling of a haggis as far as possible
No, I
for
get-
distance accuracy. That is the game.
On name, I get the premise for sure, but I need
Oh yeah, I was
It
about
really
to
wasn't
say.
hard to break down
Yeah.
the concept.
I need to see it.
From the title.
I needed to
The
see a
present world
picture.
record. The present world record for haggis hurling was set at 217 feet, aka 66 meters.
This man right here, and I'm gonna post it over there too. Over on the
That's
hold on.
beautiful.
open link. This man is hurling a haggis. Oh,
Yes,
man, I
yes,
do.
he is.
Honestly, like most people don't like haggis, but I'm a fan. Anyway, but yeah, that's an option, and then eat the haggis.
So I think like maybe like a field day type gaming thing with drinking and or late night, not too late afternoon.
Yeah, like maybe start.
Then we can invite his old cohorts and
Absolutely.
something like that.
Is there a location that you want to do it? Obviously, you have a decent amount of property here that has a pretty open air area to do it on.
I do.
But do you want to see if there's anywhere else that might be better?
Maybe somewhere flatter.
Okay. So, the birthday party, obviously, it is a birthday party. That's what, is expected. So his birthday is probably, say, 5 days out. So not a huge amount of time to kind of get crazy stuff together, but a lot more time than you had in Cake Bakery. And then where the party is held, you're thinking somewhere with more flat ground. Is there anywhere in particular that you think you might want to kind of see that would be important? Like, again, Vincent better than a lot of us, right? And out of character, you're making stuff up and it's canon, right?
Yeah.
You are aware that he lived in these parts, and that the reason why you live in these parts still is because he kind of took on the onus of the family, because cousin. Perhaps there was like divide, right? And then like two brothers with their kind of the progeny like decided, this is who is going to like, keep the grand estate up in, the north. Um, and, maybe you have an heir to that position. But currently Vincent is the steward of that property. Um, but yeah, like where around here do you think he might have got on? And don't think about it in specific locations. Think in your mind like what kind of locations are kind of present in this kind of twee of a town, and we'll find that location for you. But like if you say like, oh, he was a big fan of a pub, or like a big fan of, this kind of like get together place, then we can make that, we can find that.
You say you'd spend too much time near the village.
Okay.
So maybe around the like the pub's a good one with between the pub and the Stick Green.
Okay. So the pub that's utilized by folk, animal folk, um, would be the Nose and Tail. And if you recall from the
Right.
last session, we did go there um, and hang out. It's basically just a very comfortable looking, very much just what you'd expect to find um, in this kind of environment, right? Um, and you would say that like he spent a lot of time in the village, but obviously like was probably talking with, hanging out with people, humans, um, and maybe had an investiture in the areas kind of to the west of that, like the pub walk, area they're in. Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. Um, and yeah, sorry, I just saw your thing. You do live right by a train. That's right. um, that's that's correct. The train actually kind of goes south of where you're at. That gray line is not the train, but yeah, it's kind of a south dip from where you're at. Um, okay, so do you want to go check the nose and tail and see if they have maybe the ferry landing area kind of behind it um, might serve as property, or
Your place. Yeah.
the house that lives or that's present near there. There are two dowager ladies, stately pigeon Mrs. Celestine Gray and her busybody goose friend Mrs. Jamie Porlock, sorry, who live there. You could ask them if they could potentially, seize some of the property near the nose and tail for your tables and field games.
Let's start with the Nose and Tail.
Okay.
I think that's a good starting place to see because we could even get drinks from there.
I concur.
Also, real quick, John, I posted that because there was a train outside of my real house. That's why I was muted.
Oh, there's also a train next to where you live in the fantasy land. That's
Yeah.
wild.
I was like, no, there's a train like 40 feet from me blowing
No,
its horn, so
I
I'm
did not.
muting myself.
I did not hear that. I'm so sorry. Ah, well, when art mimics life. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go to the nose and tail. Before you do, does anybody have anything they want to interject, thought wise, process wise, or having kind of got an idea of what the scope of this party is going to be like? Does anybody have any ideas as they want to break off from the group and kind of gather and get?
We do need, I guess, no, like the equipment for the games.
Does it feel weird to anyone else being an animal throwing an animal stomach?
I try not to think about it.
Don't ask questions.
There I go, asking too many goddamn questions again.
This is why you don't get to know about the fairies.
Fairies?
Oh, wait, what? I'm sorry.
How you done it?
What happened there?
Shit! The bat just flies out the window.
The otter running after him through the window. Hey, wait!
What
What's
do
happening
you
here?
mean? What do you mean? Okay. So, does anybody want to do anything besides go to the nose and tail, or are you collectively as a group going?
If one of us needs to split off, or two of us needs to split off to go grab like one of the other items so that we can do it a little quicker, I can take off with my bike and go grab a pickup or something, or take someone with me to go grab like the
Grab a drink real
haggis.
quick.
Or...
So far as to say, nobody has decided on anything that they're going to go and grab. So if there's something that you want to nominate as a thing to go and get, you're certainly welcome to do that. Otherwise, it sounds like the group's just going kind of to the...
I'm game to go as a group. It will make time crunching real fun at the end.
Yeah. A classic problem in the RiverBank game that we've noticed in one session. Perfection. So, you arrive at the Nose and Tail mid-afternoon. Not very busy. It is, it has a couple of folks that are present there. Some folks you recognize, some you don't. And the barkeep, who is relatively busy getting ready, preparing for the evening hours. But the rambling whitewashed stone public house welcomes you in, and the tap room is where you kind of keep to, the space. The nature, as we kind of glossed over but didn't really discuss, that in this time and setting, tap room is typically like a very much kind of traditionally a male domain. It's like where guys go. That's not the case in animal pubs. There are cases that animals may not wish to be seen to be drinking and will kind of keep away from the more public tap room. And there is a section of the Nose and Tail called the Snuggery, which is where people will kind of go into these two smaller rooms that are kind of connected to the tap room, but they have high frosted glass windows and kind of like small little doors. 4 or so animals can fit into one pretty snugly, especially if they're smaller individuals. Um, and then yeah, there's a outdoor space that is the garden. Um, it probably does not fit what you would want to be kind of the space for your shenanigans. It does have a lot of stuff kind of growing and
No,
present there.
definitely not.
Um,
I
but
was thinking
go ahead.
outside.
Yeah, outside further away from the nose and tail, but like connecting the party to
Oh,
the nose and
yeah,
tail.
close enough to where it could be catered.
Yeah.
Well, drink wise.
So today, when you
Yeah.
get there, last time I believe it was Octavian Melius that was running the show. But at current, it is Mrs. Tibolia Miggle, who is a old heron, siblings with Octavian, um, and they inherited the pub from their great uncle, as you recall. Um, she would meet with you, and if you are kind of like asking her um, direct. Are you wanting to do it in the public space of the pub, or are you wanting to kind of maneuver to something more private?
I would see why it would need to be too private. I mean, I don't want her to take her away from her working, but I can talk to her, or we can talk to her.
She'll say, "Well, what seems to be the matter, Mr. Abernathy?"
Hello, I'm trying to throw a birthday party for my cousin Vincent.
Oh, Vincent, is he in
Ooh.
town? Lovely.
He is. So yes, we're hoping to throw a sort of birthday party that's kind of a, they're light games. It's getting rather old.
Hmm. Yes,
And we
well,
were thinking,
I know that my great uncle and him and that old Roscoe used to get up to some crazy shenanigans back in the day when, well, before he became her landed lord up in Scotland. Well,
hmm
yeah, birthday party, and you want us to participate. I'm assuming that you're going to be fronting the bill, paying for all drinks and services that the Nose and Tail will be offering.
I guess what? His voice gets alive. um, what would you think something like that would cost?
Well, that just depends. I
Just to,
suppose we'd just be keeping a tab. Unless you're specifically wanting to order specific items, and if you have a tally of what you want to have at the party, we can certainly make ready in our next order. How far out is this birthday party? A month?
uh, oh, about 5 days.
The heron kind of does that thing where it like opens its mouth and kind of squawks. 5 days! Kind of looks at you. No, I don't. Well, we could do our best with what we have on hand for certain. There is an opportunity for us to maybe perhaps make some purchases from the human village. They have a much more plentiful stock of liquors and ales that we might be able to partake in, depending on how many folks you're planning on having at this party. What's the attendance?
It wouldn't be too crazy. Maybe 15, 20 people.
No, that's not too bad at all. I suppose we should have no problem stocking you for that. We'll just keep a tab in the process, unless you want to specifically order items and do it that way. However, you're more bound to run out or be left with excess stock if you go that route.
I think that we don't need to go too crazy because Vincent was more of just an ale drinker,
That is.
especially
Oh,
now,
that's loud.
since he's getting. He, that was loud, and he'll say he is getting on in years.
Yes, again, as I mentioned, my now deceased great uncle who died of old age used to be a friend of his, and they palled around when they're young.
No, I no, I remember.
She nods. Just be sure to give us an idea of where we should be taking the stock, and we'll have a runner who is able to compliment you during your day. Of course, you'll have to pay for their work, as they'll be working for you at the
Sure.
time. And then I suppose that that could be Penny plain. Penny, and you'd see a young hedgehog kind of like turn and kind of look over. Yes, and kind of walk over. What are you doing on? Sorry, what was the date again? And you kind of list the date off. And what are you doing on this day? It is a Friday. Um, well, uh, nothing. I suppose. I think I have that day off. Would you like to work? Yes, and kind of looks over at you, and she kind of goes over the details with Penny, and Penny kind of seems very kind of like on board, and kind of acknowledges the idea of what's going to happen here. So basically, what you've established with the nose and tail is that they are going to have a runner that goes between um, the bar and your wherever you're planning on fielding the location of the outdoor party, and we'll make sure that any beverage requests are stocked in an orderly fashion.
Wonderful.
So,
We were hoping to do it close by. We still need to go talk to the. You said they were sisters.
um, you're talking about the coat.
Yeah,
They are not. They are dowager ladies. They are a pigeon and a
I don't know
goose.
what that means.
Um,
Is that
gen-
like friends? Like in
uh,
history, they were just good friends.
they're
Is that what it means?
widowers who
Oh,
have basically kind of like instead of living alone and being kind of
right.
left to be, they kind of have grouped together and live together. Whether or not they are very good friends, as you might have suggested there with that statement, is something we're not really going to discuss because
Sure, that's fine. That's fine. I
I mean
didn't.
my woke ass is saying yeah for sure, hell yeah they are, but again like we'll just we'll just ignore that.
It was mostly a joke,
Fair
I
go,
guess.
but yeah they totally are. Okay,
I'm
so
not gonna say it, but yes, they are.
but yes they are. Do you wish to go to the coat and speak with the ladies, or do you wish to um, maybe have someone else be the lead on this process?
I am not tempted to ask
Well,
Reed.
real quick, Reed. They are dowager
Yeah.
ladies. They are not. I mean, they probably have certain needs that they have regarding like homework or housework rather, and kind of like situations in and about and around. You've been kind of on a good kid bent, helping people out. Are the dowager ladies of the coat your perhaps people that you've helped?
I'd say so.
Okay, so the coat is a tree house. In that it is a house built in proximity to a tree. But neither Miss Gray or Mrs. Gray, rather, and nor Miss Porlock seem eager to ascend the great heights of the tree. Um, it is built only about 6 feet up, and it is a ancient common beech wood of a house. It is supported on the lowest of its by spreading branches and a robust array of support beams. You've been inside the house. It's a six-roomed house that has been around since the 18th century, only changing as the growing tree has required. The coat is notable for its surprisingly large drawing room, where Miss Porlock hosts regular gatherings for the many, many causes she supports. As with most animals, the coat does not have servants. Mrs. Gray and Mrs. Porlock do for themselves, with the occasional assistance from Jane Hiver or one of her girls, or one of the Arbuses. If you pass by the coat in the daytime, which you are doing now, please roll a d10.
I got a 3.
Okay. So you would see that Mrs. Porlock sees you and comes out, oh, hello, to talk to you. And she says, oh, have you come to aid us in our current efforts to ensure that the matter regarding the horrific people of the Boozing Kens efforts to put on display the monarchy um, are tended to, their graffitis and whatnot?
Uh,
There's a whole lot of
I
things
look.
you said.
Yeah.
So
Reed looks like kind of stunned.
it appears that Mrs. P, who you would know her as, has come to ask, or has basically asked you if you're here to give a donation to a worthy, what she sees as a worthy cause, and that worthy cause is kind of like to better the um, uh, public, like look of the area due to the fact that the ruffians in the boozing can continue to try and do things that are against the monarchy. Remember, they made a fish cake in the cake contest.
Oh yeah.
They are, or rather, sorry, the salts is the location that I'm thinking of, not the boozing ken. Or was it the boozing ken? I'll double check here in a second. I think it's the salts though. And basically, she is trying to get donations to help kind of like clean up some of the matters that they have kind of created. Not her specifically, but apparently there is some sort of donation or some sort of outreach in that regard.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I don't have any fish on me today.
Oh, no worries then. Well, I suppose, yes, I want to tell you more about it, and she will start to kind of go into that. For her to kind of get pressed beyond that, to get to the point of you actually talking to her about what she is, what you're wanting to talk about. I need you to go ahead and perform a deed for me. Go ahead
Okay.
and roll a d4, and
Okay.
then whatever attribute you have associated with the number one, go ahead and roll that.
It's a D6 we roll for, right?
D6 plus the level you have in that. Yep.
Okay. So
I
slash
believe in you.
honor 1d6 is. Look, it's not intrepidity, so I'm not doing great. I think I hit that right. Awesome, I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Rolled a 1.
So I just want to make sure I have the assumption of the scene right, just so I'm not, assuming anything. The presumption I have here is that you walked up to the nose and tail. Upon arriving, at least Montgomery went in, and then soon thereafter, or probably splitting off from there, Reed went to the coat. Is that fair to assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I need to cover the matter of the other two, Shelby and also Willie. Where did you go?
Um,
I mean, we still need to get like stuff for the games.
so like
Um,
going into like a toy shop almost because of the size needed.
Okay, so you're splitting off from them, or you kind of like again. I was checking to see if you were going to be going with either of the two, but if you're kind of splitting off and doing your own thing, that's also fine.
I would want to stay semi-productive, and I feel like the other groups have got it. So I'd be willing to go get the stuff for the games.
So you head to the stores.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I don't know if Zach is back.
I just got back, like
Perfect
as
timing.
you said. I don't know if Zach is back.
Let me go ahead and just really quickly give you the scene. You went to the nose and tail. At least Montgomery went into the nose and tail. Splitting off from that either shortly thereafter entering or upon arriving at the nose and tail. Reed went to the coat to go and speak to the ladies, Mrs. P and Mrs. G. When that happened, shortly thereafter, the nose and tail arrival, possibly after a drink, possibly not, depending on how Willie is. Willie walked off and they started heading towards the stores north of Stick Green, just nearby as to where you're at. What is Shelby doing? Is Shelby going with Reed, going with Montgomery, going with um, Willie, or doing his own thing?
Let's go with Reed.
Okay. So what we have just engaged in is as that conversation started, Reed is basically trapped by Mrs. P, who is basically trying to sell him on giving to a very fine cause, a donation to a group of individuals who are set on cleaning up graffitis and other horrible kind of things that are notably being done by the same group of ruffians that made the fish cakes for the king, and they're basically very anti-monarch kind of sentiments that are being portrayed here, which the Mrs. P and apparently the people who are putting forward the donation, the fundraiser here, um, this does seem to be what she is deeming as a good cause, and she has already spent this 10 minutes talking to Reed as you kind of stood there waiting for Reed to kind of like get to the point. So, interject as you like. That's the scenario you're stuck in.
Hmm.
Yeah, every once in a while, when like she's in between breath, Reed tries to cut in, and she starts talking again, and he's like, what? Uh,
Shelby is going to try and slam his cane down to abruptly kind of interrupt her rambling.
Okay. Go ahead and
Do that.
roll me a d4 and then a d6 plus the stat that you got. So give me a deed roll.
So D4,
So whatever that stat
and
is.
that is fucking Pother.
Okay.
So that's another, what is it? D6 plus Pother, 7. Yeah.
I can't see it because my cat just put his head right at the bottom of
And
the screen. Okay, 10. So
yeah,
yeah, you slam your cane and are very much kind of just dejected as well, right? Like it's a situation where it seems like the two of you are basically trying to butt in, trying to engage with her, but she keeps on trying to sell you on this matter. And you also understand that you're going to ask her for a favor, so it comes to a point where like once the pitch is finalized, right? There's this very unnatural kind of like spot at the end where she has basically asked you for some sort of donation, and you feel like just jumping into asking her for a favor without acknowledging that is probably not a good start to your requests.
yeah, Reed will reach into his pocket, and as he is not very, I'm pretty sure he's the poorest one of the group, intentionally. So he's gonna pull out a very bad smelling fish head out of his pocket, and underneath said very bad smelling fish head is two of like whatever the cheapest coins would be.
Pence.
Yeah, pence. There's two pence under there, and he's like, this is all I got right now, and they smell like the bad smelling fish head.
She'll take them. She doesn't seem to be too terribly affected by the bad smelling fish. Actually, it seems like it's more pleasant to her than it might be to you, or maybe the same level of pleasantness. She is a goose, after all.
And a silly
Yeah.
one at that.
I love the smell. That's why I had it in my pocket.
Yeah,
But it would be bad smelling for a normal person.
right. Um, Shelby, do you engage in any donation?
Shelby rummages through his kind of pockets and bags. Doesn't really carry cash around on him, but he has a nice kind of fountain pen, and he offers that.
Oh, this will be very nice. Thank you so much. And then after receiving these items, like as she came out to her porch to kind of address you, you see that she's very like takes the items and starts moving towards her door.
Actually, we actually have a favor we'd like to ask of you,
Oh, I'm
as
sorry.
well.
What? A favor? Well, I
Hmm.
suppose I can try. What is the matter?
Reed sits there and thinks for a minute, and out of character, I have forgotten why I came over here.
We're trying to get the this area between the nose and tail and the coat
Okay.
for the
Okay, that's
party.
for the party. For the party. Okay,
You don't even
gotcha.
do drugs, man.
No, look, I walked away for a second because I had to let both puppies out on the front porch,
Sure, sure.
and one of them decided, "Oh yes, this headset that is near me is a toy," and I had to
Yeah.
grab it from him. But anyway, yeah, we actually we're planning a party for Montgomery's cousin Vincent, and it is kind of in between your
Vincent.
place and the Nose and Tail.
Vincent. Oh. Oh my. Well, that might not be good. Um.
Oh,
Well, if memory serves, what was the last name? Vincent.
Abernathy.
Ah, yes, that's right. If memory serves, Mrs. Gray and Mr. Abernathy weren't terribly kindly to one another. Ugh. Well, I suppose I could ask her. What do you need from us?
We would just like to use the land in between here and the Nose and Tail for the party.
Well, go ahead and one more time, Reed. Go ahead and give me a roll here. The target number is a lot lower due to the fact that you paid through the other one. But yeah, give me one last deed roll.
Let's see here.
I'm gonna do a flashback and say they're actually great friends.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh, I was kidding.
I'm
'Cause,
taking you seriously. So it could be the case. What I'm saying is the case now because of what you said. Mrs. Porlock knows that Vincent Abernathy has been mentioned by Mrs. Gray and has been done so in a negative connotation. But Mrs. Gray isn't there. So,
I like this. This is good.
yeah. What do you got? You got a 4? Go ahead and give us whatever that is stat wise. I just need a 7, I think.
Sounds like that might be hard. It's not intrepidity.
Yeah. What's the bonus on
It's a
this?
6.
It's
Ooh.
a
It's a
6.
3. It's
So
a
you,
plus 3. Look, Intrepidy's plus 12. Everything else is below 6.
you can spend. This would be
Same.
a situation where you're going kind of. You're kind of like vehemently kind of like trying to press. So you can raise your animality up by 1. The animality slash poetry range. So you'd be increasing your animal or taking a penalty on your animality, and then so you'd have a -1 in the range. Um, I don't remember how we resolved this last time, but basically you need to have a new stat called animality slash poetry, and it's this. It's on page 188, and I am showing you the chart. I am trying to show you the chart. There's the chart. And basically, when you have a situation where you're coming to a roll and you can't pass it, you can kind of become more animalistic or more poetic, and it'll augment the roll. Do you want
Okay.
to do? You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So then just like notate that you're at a -1. So success. She will kind of agree to the situation, and as she's doing so, Shelby, as you're kind of like the whole situation has just been kind of like cumbersome for you. Like she's just so agitating. You would see that a pigeon and a badger, who Shelby you recognize as Vincent, are actually walking up the way to the coat. Okay,
Say that again.
so Reed and Shelby, you would see that two individuals are walking towards the household that you're standing in front of. It is a pigeon, a very kind of finery, very Victorian kind of dress with like a parasol, and then a badger who's wearing just kind of standard, you know, um, garb, not too dissimilar from what Montgomery would wear. In fact, it may very well be an outfit Montgomery owns. Um, and they are walking to the house. This is presumably Vincent Abernathy and Mrs. G or Mrs. Gray.
Yeah,
This
I'll wave at him.
Yeah.
was this
Sorry.
supposed to be a surprise party?
It doesn't have to be, but what you'll note is Mrs.
Oh, he'll forget anyway. He'll forget anyway.
Mrs. Porlock will be like, "Oh, I I thought you were angry with Mr. Abernathy," and the bitch kind of is taken aback and kind of puffs her chest a bit. And you see Mr. Abernathy kind of like, huh? And kind of like staring at the pigeon. And she says, "No, no, I was mad he hadn't written in so long. And I suppose it was because he was on his way via train." "Oh," Mrs. Porlock will laugh. That's why. Of course. I'm sorry to have insinuated anything else," she says, and looks at you two like, don't mention that I may have said something a little bit unsurly. Um, Mr. Abernathy will kindly kind of kiss the feathers of the hand of Mrs. Gray, as is polite in polite society, and then he will make his way, kind of giving a very courteous wave and how do you do to Shelby, and then an invitation. He says, "I'm headed to the Nose and Tail now. If you're interested, you can accompany me."
I'd be happy to.
Hmm. And he seems like in this process of having stolen a Montgomery outfit that was, probably something finer, maybe something he would wear to a party, right? He just seems very different than when you first met him. He doesn't seem as crestfallen or sad. Um, and on the walk over, he kind of explains a little bit about um, his time with Mrs. Gray today, going over um, some matters of interest. He remembers during his adventures with the former proprietor of the Nose and Tail, um, actually helping the family that lived here, which was Mrs. Gray and her husband before um, the passing of her husband, helping them do some construction on the tree. And wouldn't you know it, in the process of the storytelling, you would note that he has given you the full tale, and this was a tale he had questions about for Montgomery. This was a story that Montgomery was present at and was helping with the helping of building the house or fortifying the house. But he seems to have gotten his answers as to how the tale goes from Mrs. Gray. And Willie, you are uh, welcome to purchase whatever you feel is necessary at the stores. So if you want to just take down a laundry list of items, that's absolutely fine.
Oh yeah, I would have definitely a couple of the easy games like croquet and such. It couldn't be too many things, so would have to stick to like one or two. Because he is riding around on a bat-sized motorcycle and
Yeah,
not that unwieldy Badger one.
and unfortunately,
Um,
the wheelbarrow would probably have been returned, the one you borrowed from.
happily returned so I could have my bike back in working order.
Hmm.
Um, so I would get the stuff to do croquet and maybe have a newfangled game, lawn darts, just to have fun. Um,
Okay. Um, I would say that the kind of press for you isn't so much that acquiring the items, it's kind of getting the items to a location. So I'm going to ask you, what is the location that you strive to get these items to at first?
it would definitely be Montgomery's
Okay.
house because I
Okay.
wouldn't know about the whole guarantee on the land or anything, so I'd be taking it back there.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a deed roll.
Let's roll in a 4. Okay, so that's Pother. And then a d6, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus buffer. Oh,
11.
real good. So, had you failed, items would have dropped off. You would have had to have spent a lot of time kind of getting after them. But you managed to stack it in such a way on the back of the bike that it is not only perfect, but just with like the kind of tilting of one of your wings out to the side, you're able to keep a solid balance on the bike. And so it's like this little bat-sized motorcycle, bat on it, wing kind of like stretched out to the side, with a bunch of stuff on the back, just trudging along. And obviously, like just as you're getting to the nose and tail, Shelby Reed and also Vincent Abernathy, you would see that kind of passing by as they would have to kind of like drive. Like again, it's not terribly close, but they would have to kind of drive like a bit north of where you're coming from the coast, and you would see them kind of like moving towards the main old Roman road. All right. So then
Yeah.
you accompany Mr. Abernathy back to the nose and tail.
Mm-hmm.
um, where you would find, or do you not?
I was gonna say, seeing Willie go by, or at least go in that direction. I would assume he's going to Montgomery's house, but we need the stuff here that he went to get.
Yeah, yeah.
So would it take too long for me to try to go to his house to let him know that, hey, we're actually having it over here?
Well, I would say that would Reed kind of think of that like split second, or would it be something that he kind of like thinks about as he's walking down the road?
It's definitely like he's seen him go by, and then as he's turning around going down the road, he's like, "Oh wait, he's going the wrong direction. He's not coming over here."
Yeah, yeah.
And then he would turn around to start heading that way.
So I would say that like you wouldn't be able to kind of like, because if you thought of it like if you said it's immediately what a Reed would have thought of, you could have probably tried to run them down and like wave them down. But since you kind of
Yeah,
think of it after a fashion, are you wanting to then just excuse yourself from Shelby and Mr. Abernathy and go chase them down?
yeah.
Okay.
It was like after he thinks about it, he's like, "I gotta go catch up with Willie so we can get this stuff in the right spot," and then heads off.
Vincent kind of like, oh, okay, young man. Uh, does Shelby say anything to Reed?
I hand Vincent the fish head, and as I walk off,
Oh, and he kind of drops it. What
I'm
a
already walking off after that, so I don't see it.
what a strange fellow. Kind of reminds me of Roscoe. Okay, so then he and Shelby will walk to the nose and tail. So Montgomery, you see your cousin and also your friend Shelby entering into the bar.
He looks over and then he sees them walking in and ushers them over to the bar, I guess,
They come over.
because he's having a drink, and then he's like, "Oh well, might as well just put two more on the tab."
Yep. And it seems that well ahead of you, basically seeing him in, it almost like was responsive. You would notice that the heron behind the bar, um, is already pouring Vincent a drink. And does Shelby have a regular, do you think, at the Nose and Tail, or is he not as commonly cited here?
Oh, I bet he has a regular.
Okay. And what would that be?
Hot tea with a splash of gin.
Love it. And then you'll note that Mr. Abernathy's is it's a gin and tonic, very simple kind of beverage, but instead of being garnished with like a lime, as is normally the case, it appears that it has been garnished with a worm.
Interesting.
Bit more of an earthy flavor, I suppose.
Extra protein.
There
Never
you go.
hurt.
Yeah, and if it sits in there long enough, you know. Um, so, at the Nose and Tail, you obviously have the guest of the party here. Do you wish to discuss what has happened thus far in his presence, or again, it's not technically supposed to be anything. It's your party to throw. It's just expected of you to do so, right? So if it's a surprise party, it's a surprise party. If it's not, it's not. I think
He's gonna forget it. Is where I'm at.
okay. I think the main thing is that birthday surprise was mainly that, you know, the fact that you're having a party at all was the surprise. But yeah. Okay,
Right.
so then you're willing to talk about it directly in front of his face with the expectation he's going to not remember anything. Okay.
Correct. So I'll say, Shelby, I was able to secure a tab and someone to run the drinks to us. Did you and Reed make any headway with the ladies at the coat?
Wasn't the easiest conversation that I think either of us have had, but yes.
Good. Surprised with you saying that. Well, I guess Reed probably didn't know, but
She had a lot to say.
What was she talking
yeah.
about?
Which one was there?
I didn't write down her name. Shit.
Mrs. P.
The
Thank you.
goose, right?
The goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goose.
Yeah. So that's something I noticed, and I'm like, I'm so mad about. So Porlock is the goose, and Gray is the pigeon. Why didn't they do it the other way around so you could just associate the letter with the animal? It would have been easier, but
Probably to avoid the Grey Goose vodka connection
Yeah.
in print.
Probably.
that's actually, you know, now that you say it, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
That was going to be Willie's preferred
Literally-
brand.
Literally the first thing I thought of when you.
Well, she is a great goose, but Gray because age, because I understand in Fantasyland of animals talking, if a goose gets older, their feathers would probably start to gray. So Mr. Abernathy seems to be like paying attention and kind of listening to what you're saying, and he tried to interject in the midst of the conversation, but kind of like fell away from it. He goes back to sipping his drink casually. Um, Willie, you arrive at Montgomery's house and are able to kind of put all the stuff there. And as you're kind of unpacking and putting everything down, Reed, you arrive shortly thereafter him, just as he's about to finish up unpacking everything.
Willie, we gotta pack it all back up. We got the land secured.
So we're not having it here.
No, we're having it right between coat and nose and tail.
Oh, great! That's great news. That's easier for everyone else. I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish what I did again. but we can definitely try. Do you also want to be on the motorcycle, or
I mean, I could help hold stuff on.
okay? I look over again at the bat-sized bike and back to the otter again and go, okay, yes, yeah, we can, yeah, let's start grabbing stuff. Start grabbing stuff.
Okay, okay.
Aren't you just bigger?
Thank, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for the heads up. I didn't know that. That's really awesome. Apparently, real geese can lose colored feathers and get white or mottled white ones as they grow older.
It's
The more you
fun.
know.
It's like how dogs get
But
the white mask kind of look to them. Same kind of aging process, it
Adorable.
seems.
Adorable.
And yeah,
cute.
I think it is Bill's for goose. Even though Bill is kind of a beak but different and weird looking. Um,
Still hurts.
yeah, well, I assume worse. Freaking geese are beasts. Anyway, um, the stuff is loaded back onto the bike. Um, I'm not going to have you roll another deed for this process. I mean, you're able to kind of
Oh, thank God.
with the help kind of get that on there, and you kind of feel like as you're doing it with Reed's help because it's like a little bit more strength, right? Physical strength. Also, I assume like picking up things is a little harder when you have a like membrane in between your fingers. Um,
Yeah, it's not great.
it's fine for manipulating stuff, but like you're picking up bigger things. It's like you got the floppy bulk of your wing, kind of
I'm
like
a
messing with it.
I'm a great watch repairman. I'm a bad bricklayer.
Correct. And yeah, so you've got Reed there to help with like the kind of like more bulky items, and you're able to kind of say right there, right? And Reed's very like, you know, yeah, absolutely, you got it, Chief, kind of situation. So you're able to load it up just as you had it, precisely as you had it, no problems. And then I think we discussed last time the bike is big enough to kind of like put one other
Yeah.
smaller creature. Like you wouldn't be able to put Montgomery on there, and I think otters are they large sized or no?
Let's see. Did I write it down? Yeah, I'm large size.
Yeah, you're not gonna get on that bike, I don't think.
Okay.
Not
That
without
that
the
Not without the
sidecar.
wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Montgomery,
well,
do you have a wheelbarrow?
does Montgomery have a wheelbarrow?
Yeah, of course it is.
Of course he does.
Okay, you're going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, we take what it would take some extra time, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's hook up the wheelbarrow. So he would say quietly under his breath, like, "Why did I make friends with only large creatures? Shelby is such a breath of fresh air." As I'm strapping stuff together, looking at Reed.
And then you realize, like, as you're like putting the stuff on there, it's so they can lift the big stuff. That's why.
Just picture, when I picture Reed, I just picture his tongue out to the side a
Yeah.
little bit. Also,
Yes. Yes.
Oh, derpy. So then, yeah, absolutely. You guys load back up and you head over that way. So you would be pulling up to the coat, and it seems like the ladies have gone into their house, but they've given you fair go that you can utilize the space for the party. Um, inside the nose and tail, I suppose hearing a motorcycle kind of whip past would definitely be noticeable, especially since it's not going to be too far away from. Um, the nose and tail due to your current arrangement. Um, do you two wish to stay inside? It does seem that Vincent is kind of quietly just sipping his drink, kind of reflecting on the day that he's had. And when I say he's reflecting on the day that he's had, he has a small, like, leather bound journal on the table that he's reading over and over again.
I'm going to finish my drink
Okay.
after hearing them putt putt by, and I'll put my hand on his back and I will say, "Are you good to look over your writings for today and hang out here while we get some more stuff ready for your party?"
He'll smile up at you and he'll say, "Yes, yes. I just, well," and he kind of looks down to his book. Who who was that out there?
Out where?
Out on the road. The one who handed me the
On the
fish
bike?
head.
Oh, and he looks at Shelby, and I assume Shelby just nods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was Reed. He's a friend of ours.
Reminds me so much of Roscoe. I wonder if he's still around. And then
Is Roscoe still around?
he'll gonna go back to his drink and sipping. That's for you to figure out. But yeah, he doesn't seem to know. And even if he did know, he probably forgot.
Well, would I know?
Do you know anybody named Roscoe?
I can.
Not really, because this is somebody else's thing. But
Okay.
do you know
Okay.
anybody named Roscoe that's been
No,
introduced to you?
no, I do not. I did not know that.
Okay.
I thought you were asking me to make something
Because
up.
Roscoe has been mentioned.
Okay, then no.
Brent, do you want to help?
Yeah, Roscoe's my papa.
So, the name
I
Roscoe.
would know that.
You would know that. Yeah.
I would know that. Oh, and I'll say, well, of course he reminds you of him because that's his father.
Papa.
Wait,
Papa.
that young boy out there is Roscoe's dad?
No.
Then he kind of starts looking around. Only had
Grandson. Grandson.
Wait, Roscoe is that young lad's grandchild?
The other way around.
That child is Roscoe's grandson. Well, that makes more sense.
Yes.
Child is Roscoe's grandpa.
That makes more sense now that I think about it. Yes. And he kind of starts writing in his journal. What's his name?
Reed.
Reed. Oh, that takes me back to the tabernacle. And he just kind of loses himself, and then you realize, like, he is pretty much leavable at this point if you want to, or if you want to continue engaging with him, it's fine too.
I want to look at Shelby again later. Let's go.
All right, you two dip out and get to everybody, and they've got all the gear. It looks like there's a bunch of stuff that's been kind of put onto the wheelbarrow. The only things that you think you're would be missing, probably some seats, which won't be too hard to find. And looking at the property, Montgomery, and knowing the property well enough, and Reed also, there's definitely some places where you can find like firewood that's kind of larger cut, sizable for most animal folk to kind of like sit on, and kind of be comfortable with.
You could probably fashion a good amount of benches in a couple days. Right?
Yep.
Like rudimentary ones. Tables, not so much.
Yeah, tables are going to be something you'd probably have at your own places, or the Nose and Tail does have the garden, which is like a wine garden or cider garden. They do have tables that are outside that they could potentially loan to you for this affair. But that'd be another kind of situation where you'd have to ask about it.
I do also have a well-stocked workroom.
Yeah, 100%. You could have tables.
Back over here. Okay. And then, yeah, to supplement, but we need a tent now.
Okay.
And then as we're walking over the coat, I'm gonna ask Shelby and say, how's the cake making been going?
You know, it was a lot easier with an oven.
Sure.
And I've had some success.
Okay.
With, like, no bake cakes. Shelby kind of smiles.
Just kind of nods. So maybe we should purchase a cake for this
would
event?
do that.
Or
I would do. I would do. I would do that. I would do that for this
okay,
one.
okay. So let's figure that out also.
Yeah.
So a tent. He takes out a little like flip notebook. Says tent. It says drink, tent, sports equipment, and yeah, just everything we've been talking about. And then a couple of.
I was gonna say, Willie, as you're kind of like listening to them doing their listing and preparing, you're also kind of just like making sure your bike doesn't have any damage from the weight or anything like that. You're just kind of checking stuff over, right?
Yeah,
Put off
I'm
the
just
side.
looking it over and trying to get the wheelbarrow, trying to figure out if I'm gonna have to keep it attached again.
And so you're the first to notice that the pigeon woman is actually walking over to you from the coach. She's like making her way to where you kind of set up camp on the property.
Well, hello.
Oh, hello.
What you need?
Um, I was just wondering, you are you planning a birthday party for Vincent?
Yes, we are.
And he doesn't know about it?
To my knowledge, I don't think he's been told.
A surprise party. How wonderful. Well, if it's here, then I assume that you're going to need some manner of getting him here on the specific date and time. If I'm right, Friday is his birthday. Is that right?
Yeah, from what Montgomery's groaned about, yeah.
Yes, I remember the groaning. Of course. Well, it's good that he has a bit of a heart in him. I always thought that Montgomery had the level head and Vincent had the full heart. But, alas, nobody can be all things at once, I suppose. But if you are interested, I will perhaps serve as a diversion. I could perhaps meet with him for breakfast, and then bring him here afterwards, just as I did today. And well, then ta-da! He will be brought out to the thing. Have you invited? Who all have you invited? Of course, we're invited. We're effectively hosting.
I mean, that's fair enough. I would have to ask Montgomery. He's going to be the one finalizing the list and
Well,
all of
let's
that because most of this is on his dime.
let's go talk with him. And she'll kind of walk past you and kind of with you to the other people. And then Montgomery, just pick up where you left off in your listicle there.
Yep, she's just like, where do you think we should get the cake? He's asking Shelby.
He's
How
definitely
much
trying to
kind
get
of
Shelby
sweet?
to make a cake.
Well, no, he said we said we should buy one. So
Oh,
I'm saying, yeah, we should probably buy one.
all right. They walk up.
Hey, Montgomery.
Hey, yeah, I heard
Uh,
you got or saw you got some of the equipment when you was by.
Mrs. G is
yeah, it's,
with him. Sorry, just to make sure that you're aware that there's.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
no, I
Okay.
yeah. We got it back here where it belongs. Using your wheelbarrow. I hope you don't mind.
that's
And
right.
we were well, I was approached asking about the guest list for this event. Do you have one in mind, or is it more of an open-ended thing?
I was thinking about 15 to 20 people. Some of those close to Vincent aren't, and he'll stop right there and just say, "Yep, I have some folks in mind."
So obviously me, uh, and of course,
Yes, of course. You yes.
very,
Since
very good. Who
again,
else?
thank you. I heard that.
Of course. It's very nice of you to put on this engagement. I am just curious, is it a surprise party? Or just a party that he's invited
It is just a party. I assume it would be a surprise since he's rather forgetful.
to? Well, if you'd like, I can perhaps set up a date between me and him on the morning, and I can bring him
Oh.
up to the party at the right time to ensure that, since it's going to be a surprise for him anyway, we at least play it off as such.
No, that sounds wonderful.
Of course. Well,
I
she gets
appreciate it.
she gets the time from you, and then she'll also kind of put forward like a category of like individuals who she thinks are important.
Great.
It fills out like what you kind of, because again you're his cousin, so you would know that there's like, Mrs. Gray and him were friends. More friends with Mrs. Gray's husband, but like, that friendship still stands. They talk about him. Pretty much all they ever do is just talk about him, which again bores you, so you don't stick around long. But you'd also note that the list doesn't really contain any note of people who are kind of like exceptionally noteworthy, with the exception of Roscoe Waters, um, Karen Mildred Cunningham, who you know, um, the name that's definitely on there that and why is that name not on my notes? What is your relative's name, Zach?
I don't know if we ever came up with a name for the frog.
Okay, hold on.
It's not in my notes either, honestly.
Beatrice Potter name generator. Uh-huh. All right. So he is a male, correct? He, him
Hmm.
presenting. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And then we're gonna go with Benjamin, and he's not obviously related to you, so it's gonna be Toggle Sticks. Benjamin Toggle Sticks.
Others.
Yeah, perhaps known more like, in a like intimately, or perhaps by like family as Toggers. Um, Also on the list. Those would be the three main ones.
I would lean over to Montgomery and go, if my great aunt asks if she can bring her pet, tell her it's no pets. I no pets, and she will try to sweet talk you. It's not a good idea.
At just that moment, a cute as fuck little, sorry, a very cute pillbug comes out of Montgomery, kind of looks at you indignantly, and then rushes back into the coat.
But you're hideable and not venomous.
Evil.
I don't think you've ever sent anyone to the infirmary. Uh,
You see the
Not that I know
pillbug
of.
pop out and nod, and then
there's a slight difference. Um, I'm just saying for the safety of others, it may be smart.
okay. So again, we may have come to a realization here. I just want to make sure it's very clear. But uh, your relatives are obviously the ones that are kind of locked in here. So, um,
Yeah,
how do we want to go
I'm trying
about
to mitigate that.
inviting them? Very formally with letterhead and document, or do we want to just go and treat with them and then state what the situation is?
I think we should all go meet each other's relatives instead of the person that is related to them inviting them.
That's an
I
option.
love that idea.
But
Just
what?
whoever goes to my papa, he is very judgmental, hard at hearing, and he always promises things he never delivers on. If he's even at home, he might be traveling right now.
Yeah, and I'd say the other thing too that we know about Roscoe is like he tells like very like big stories, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because Reed very much lives in his imagination, is doing these great adventures and all of this stuff. And his dad, or his great grandpa, or his grandpa rather, is like very much of a mind to be kind of like telling stories that like very early on in Reed's life were probably like, yeah, yeah. But then like the more you thought about it, the more like his stories were so outlandish they couldn't be true, right? Um, and that's not what you experienced. It's different. So I think that's a funny kind of note. And then, what are our problems with Benjamin?
It's our problems with the frog.
Yeah, it's really kind of on Shelby there. Like, is it something that you want to kind of avoid? Again, the easiest way to get rid of all of like the possibility of like problems is just write them. I think somebody has post office access and would be able to do
I
it.
actually do have post office
I
access, so I
also
am
have
just
post
gonna
office.
write them.
Yeah, that's an easy way to get around it.
Yep.
Okay, so then that means it falls on to Shelby regarding writing the letters rather, the invites, if you will. So yeah, go ahead and give me a deed roll.
I believe in you.
Too bad. 9.
Okay. So I'm gonna need 2 points to make this a success, and I think we're gonna be going in the kind of your choice. Actually, we could go either way. Like more angrily, kind of trying to find the words, or more kind of esoterically trying to find the words and becoming a bit more like bookish, like grabbing the dictionary thesauruses and trying to like get it just right. Which of those two mentalities do you think would be more keen to point fixing here?
Probably. I don't see Shelby as the kind of person who works to get everything perfectly right.
So it's
You
more of
know,
like a just getting the
I
things
have to.
done.
If I need to get it done, I imagine, or if Shelby needs to get it done, I imagine he does it quickly, so that way he doesn't like put it off to the side and forget about it for 3.5 months.
So I'm gonna say go ahead and put 2 points to your animality, so like -2
Yeah.
on the chart. Just kind of rushing through it and getting it done so you can get to the
Yep.
next thing. Okay. The pages are, or the letters are written. You get those mailed off. And so if it's on Friday, it's 5 days. You have 5 full days out. I'm bad with math. I'm also bad with days of the week. That would be, today is Sunday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then party time. So mail doesn't go out till tomorrow. That'll work. Um, Anything else that you have for getting ready, planning, etc.? And I want to make sure too, since that's being done, the writing will be taking place obviously at Shelby's house. Before we kind of leave the party scenario, um, there was mention of a tent. I want to be sure though, is there anything kind of like what's the setup prior to the party? Obviously, like it's a few days out. What are you where how are you leaving things? Mainly this question for
That's
John.
true.
But yeah.
We can't just like
Are we
leave.
leaving them?
Yeah, well, they're not letting you put them in her house. Like all of the
Put 'em under the
trinkets
house.
and such. Like,
Put 'em under the house.
huh?
Put them under the house.
Oh, you can
Isn't it
put
like
it's a
straight up?
it's a tree, but like yeah, there's not like a lot of space underneath there. Like there's a bunch of supports and branches.
I mean, we could store everything at my house until the day of, and I could start transporting it just earlier on that day while he's out at breakfast.
Willie, as you say that, you kind of look at the bike, which has been disavowed of its load twice now, and you're like, I guess we'll have to load it back up.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
But I won't have an otter in the back, so I could take a lot more.
Do you want to store it at yours or at Montgomery's or yeah, the
I could
coat?
also just like go get a tarp or something.
Yeah, that could work.
Oh no, this is the UK. It rains like every other day.
Or every day.
Is there anything else you want to kind of take into account there? Because there is obviously shenanigans that I can throw at you due to location choices. But
Oh yeah, if we leave the stuff here, the people from the salts might come down. They said they were, messing it up.
paying
Oh yeah,
attention,
true.
love that. I mean,
Yeah,
do you go ahead?
let's take it to either mine or Montgomery's house. I think I think not Montgomery's because it will look suspicious to Vincent because that's where he's staying at the moment. So I think just taking it
Yeah,
to
let's
my
bring it to
house
yours, I guess. Yeah.
and just storing it there. I have a nice garage. It all can go in the garage next to the bike.
Okay. And then also tomorrow the shops will be more fully open because again it's Sunday, so you're able to buy like, you know, this or that. But like, there's probably not the case that there's bakeries open or anything like that, so you're not able to buy like fine made goods. But the bakery in the human town will be open, and also like other party shenanigans can be purchased that way too. Okay, so you retreat back to your homes. The party gear is kept at the um, Venger home, um, and night falls. When you awake in the morning, you awake to the sound of rainfall. It is heavy in the earliest parts of the morning, uh, and you would also kind of understand that in the riverbank there are a series of waterways. You would know that you made the right choice near the nose and tail. The river at that area does actually kind of swell quite a bit, and it could be the case that the items you left out and about might have been kind of caught up in the kind of swelling or kind of like, sodden because of the ground underneath becoming very damp. So there's kind of like this relief, this breath of fresh air that comes from your smart choices in this. For Reed, the Wendell is like, very kind of, watery, probably fish jumping about, catching the
Oh yeah.
raindrops, and you're very much kind of like in the morning invested in that. Um, if you wanted to say something on it, go ahead.
Oh, you did. That's what I was gonna say. Is with the rain being very heavy, Rita's out restocking his fish supply.
Absolutely. Willie, again, the rain coming down, you have like a little garage space or work area that you keep your bike in. Um, and it's probably like packed in there with all of the stuff that you brought out um, from the party stuff. So you're kind of just waiting for the rain to die down a bit, and it doesn't look like it's for long. Like it doesn't look like it'll be forever, but it does look like it rained a bit during the night. Um, and then Montgomery. Vincent is snoring quite heavily from the guest room um, as you're kind of getting up and kind of starting your day. Is there anything that you're engaging in particular at the start of your day?
Morning tasks.
Okay. Yeah, just absolutely doing your chores. And then Shelby, you of course drafted the invitations last night, and you kind of set those to your posts. They will be taken. I'd assume that. What time do you think the post officer comes by your location?
Say it's probably pretty early in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm pretty far out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So like first in as they drag it back out. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
So absolutely. And yeah, everything seems to be absolutely fine with that. There are no hitches, no problems. They come out and collect the mail. past that point, it probably rains through a good way through to like noon or just after noon. But again, rain for some of you isn't that much of a deterrent. For others, maybe it might be. Um, what would you like to do in the morning during the kind of rainy spot here, if anything at all?
You asking someone in particular?
No, everybody, just whoever wants to jump in.
Willie would be drafting a conversion for his motorcycle to become a trike after all of these like little adventures, just realizing that he needs a little more stability on the back if he's going to keep doing this stuff. And so that would be his morning, would be that and like a coffee.
I'm gonna have you
Oh
roll,
no.
but I'm not going
I'll
to
be right back.
do the normal random choice roll because this is a bit more outside of the normal like deed structure, right? This is just something you're trying to kind of engage with um, temporally and trying to make things a little easier for you in the future. So go ahead and choose one of your stats, but then I need you to justify why that's the one you've chosen.
The clear answer is sense at a 9. But how do I justify sense as
Well,
drawing a diagram?
yeah, I mean,
Um, no, I'm gonna be fair, and I'm gonna say it's the intrepidity.
okay,
Um, because he's trying to keep up with the group, get out of his house more, and to facilitate that, it feels that there might need to be a change to his bike, but he doesn't want someone else to do it.
yeah,
So he wants to be the one to build it and test it. So I would say it's the intrepidity.
okay, yeah. Go ahead and give me a roll, and I've got a number in my head. It's not very high. It's a very easy
Oh,
problem.
it's a 7. It's a combined 7.
I did not know that you could roll.
A 1 and a
Mm,
6. My intrepidity
yeah.
is a
So
6.
so the target number I had was a 6. I or sorry, not sorry. Yeah, it was a 6. So you couldn't have passed. Yeah, that's way too low a check. Can you even have lower than that? Why is that an option for difficulty? Anyways, success. The lowest possible.
I'm cool with that. I'll take a pity success any day of the week. It's
What's the lowest
I'm gonna
stat
say
that you guys have?
my lowest
charm
stat's a
is
2.
2.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
mine's a
okay.
2.
So it is possible. Okay, got it. Okay, that's why that difficulty is. You couldn't have failed it, but somebody could have. Okay, got it. So yeah, you kind of push all of the party shenanigans to the side, get to your tools, and get to kind of like some pieces that you have, and you just get to work making it into a bit more. Um, you take your spare tire, you create like the part in between two wheels that the name is currently escaping me. Um,
So,
Axle, that's the word I wanted. And you kind of set up a situation too where not only is it a trike, but it also has like a flat bed kind of on the back end a bit. This will make connecting wheelbarrows to it in the future a lot easier, but it'll also
I
give you
made
the
it.
opportunity to take one large creature with you as well as the
Okay.
other small creature.
I made a shitty sidecar, but it's functional, and
Yeah,
that's what we're moving with. It'll be pretty by the next session.
yeah.
Uh,
And I mean, again, just because of the size of the thing, I don't think it's like a sidecar. I think it's more like an ass extension. Like it's like a big old like you push the
okay,
back tire
yeah,
out, split it, and then you kind of put like a bed on it effectively. Because a sidecar would be like for a large creature would be
true. Yeah, yeah.
really. Actually, you know what? Because of ridiculousness, I'm gonna go with that. That's what it is.
Just imagine Reed in my sidecar, and that should justify
Absolutely.
anything you need.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? The way I'm imagining it, it's like this crazy like thing that was developed by Bat, and it seems to have like just a bunch of connections to basically like baby stroller that's been kind of pushed down, so it's like almost grinding on the bottom. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, okay.
And I definitely first stopped it at Reed's and came up to his door and was like, I need a tester. And you're young enough that the healthcare will fix you.
I sup-
Definitely would have tested it.
I suppose that this would come about if you write out to read after the fixing. I think the fixing probably took you the better part of the morning. So just to make
it would
sure,
take me probably the whole morning.
yeah, just to make sure we got it right then. The rain will die down by the time you're leaving, but I want to check in with Reed. Reed, you were catching fish in the morning and restocking your larder. Is there anything that you want to do in the morning that isn't waiting around for a motorcycle to arrive, or is that basically you just kind of staying in until the rain's done?
Uh, Considering Reed's house is the only one really on this waterway, like the first part of this waterway right here,
Hmm.
Reed after catching fish is definitely just like, out swimming, enjoying the water, just having a good old time.
Okay. So then, yeah, afterwards, like once the rain dies down, you kind of like plop out onto the shore, kind of near your house, probably like having a nice repast of, fish. Uh,
Oh yeah.
and then you hear as Willie arrives with a slightly upgraded motorcycle.
What's up? I walk over holding a fish that I'm biting out of and I'm like, you wanna bite?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
But I needed you today for a bit of testing. Um, I would point to my bike and say, we've been you and Montgomery and I have been hanging out a bit too often for me not to have a way to travel with you. That isn't wheelbarrow adjacent. So I've developed this small stroller, for lack of a better term, that I need you to sit in and see if it falls apart when I hit top speed.
Okay. I'll finish taking a bite of the fish, right? And I
You
just
can
take the
eat the
head off.
fish in the car.
No, I just needed a good luck charm. So I
Okay.
take the head off, I put the head in my still wet pants, and I plop in.
And I launched that thing. I am trying to pop a wheelie with Reed in the back.
Okay.
And with his weight back there, it is an easy testament.
Absolutely. I want to know, do you head so when you go here, you have to go up the Roman road and then take that little like right after the Linewood, kind of make your way across this little bridge, past the Wendell, and then up to Reed's house, right? Do you want to go back the
Hmm.
way you camest, or do you wish to go up the hill through that very rough patch of road that goes between you, Reed's, and Montgomery's?
I want to try to wake up Montgomery with a motorcycle, yes.
Hell yeah. I mean, again, that stretch is super cool. So, like, Reed, you're in there and you're just absolutely like, if you're a fan of speed and you're a fan of like very quick motions, then you're loving this. If you're not that, then you're hating this. But
Oh yeah, Reed's having a good time. His tongue's hanging out. He's having a good old time.
what you've determined is with the size increase and with kind of like the balancing that the backboard and like the double wheel kind of creates, you're zipping through this narrow like you've never done before. And you've probably driven this route a couple of times. The downhill is definitely more fun than the uphill. But what you're realizing is like, yeah, this thing handles like a dream now. You've got it so that it's very stable and situated. And let's pause for a second, kind of rewind. Montgomery, you're doing your morning chores. Vincent is kind of early morning, kind of going over his notes. And it seems like he's kind of drafting some stuff, kind of keeping to himself. But every so often, we'll come to you and kind of ask you, questions regarding this or that or this other thing, like he always does. Um, with your tasks kind of being limited to indoors due to the rain, um, do you stay with him or do you not care about the rain and just go do your chores out in the field and outside, regardless?
How sad does he look? Is
He doesn't
yours?
look sad. It seems like he's very active and happy. It seems like he's asking about this I can't remember exactly the name of it. It was Tabernacle Ridge? Something to that effect that Zach had brought up? That was on the notes that were
Tabernacle
passed?
Lake, I think,
Tabernacle Lake, thank you so much.
because it reminded him of Reed's Pepple
Yeah,
whenever he heard Reed.
Roscoe. And Roscoe's a known sailor, so a lake makes sense. We're definitely coming together here.
So isn't that where you all used to do your what you call it, speed sailing on the windy days?
That's right. And you see him kind of like start writing a bit. He seems to be a bit happier. Do you said that that boy Reed? Well, sorry, you said that that boy Reed was his grandson. Do you know if he has a good relationship with his grandpapa?
I believe so.
Oh, good. I'd really like to see Roscoe. uh, if you could, if it's not too much trouble, maybe ask the Reed if
No, of course, of course.
Thank you so much. And you can actually see his eyes kind of like watering around the ridges. And he'll kind of like get up and kind of go to kind of put on another pot of tea as he seems to have finished his. And if you kind of look at his journal and kind of hang out with him instead of going outside and getting damp in the rain trying to do the chores out there.
Normally he would, but I guess today, because he's trying to,
Yeah.
he will.
You would see that he's very kind of focused on this Tabernacle Lake and something that happened there. And you were there. It was speed sailing. You weren't out on the water, though. It definitely, you do remember something happening. What was the event that happened that you would have seen from like the far side? Like, how do you remember it?
That's very open-ended.
Yep, that's the way this game plays.
Yeah, I know, I know.
You've cracked the code.
You son of a bitch. Let's see. I guess it would be.
Well,
Bad on the spot.
to help you, just so kind of give you like maybe some thoughts. Roscoe is known in modernity, at least by Reed, as being kind of like a fibber, telling big stories, doing like having done these crazy outlandish things in the past. Now, whether or not that is true or not, whether or not he had done cool shit in the past, is up to us, right? It's certainly not up to Reed. Reed disbelieves him regardless. But whether or not Roscoe is as cool as he brags to be is up to us. Now, we know that Vincent
There you
is
go.
that
That's
cool, but
yeah. I know what you're stepping in.
yeah. So your thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like he won. They matched some bets, and he won this race that they've been planning for forever or something, and then did like a super gnarly trick. Would be gnarly and whatever the word would be for gnarly.
Gnarly is fine. I like it. So what you'll note in his notes is he seems to not have the conclusion of the race. He doesn't know who won. He remembers being very upset, thinking that he would lose to Roscoe, but for whatever reason he can't remember. And then there's another note that's kind of like a reference to an earlier page. And if while he's getting tea, you kind of flip to that page to check it, it seems like
Yeah.
he has noted that when he spoke to Roscoe last was the lake. And you would see that there's a few letters in there from Roscoe. They had correspondence in the past. And it seems that in reply, Roscoe seems to have been stating that he won the race.
Oh, I wasn't sure I saw it.
Yeah.
So when he comes back, I'll be like, hey, Vincent, you won this race.
Huh?
Actually, pretty near. Come here.
Oh.
Point at the page.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of go over it with him.
See,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is he telling you that you lost that?
Well, when he kind of looks at you sadly, it's really hard for me to admit my memories are failing, Montgomery.
I know.
But I know,
You know.
I do know I know. And the last time I remember this, I do remember feeling a sense of joy that day. And I thought I was just happy for my friend. According to him, he beat a record.
You beat the record.
I, I well, then they would have written that down somewhere, right? Yes?
Um, can I go rummage through some old newspapers?
Yeah. If you're the type that would collect it, I mean, it does sound like Montgomery would be the type that keeps old newspapers. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So you do, and you find the day, and it does appear that the press did come out that day and notated it. But yeah, it's very easy for you to prove it, and when you do, um, Montgomery is just invested in reading the entirety of the article, very focused in on it. It seems to just consume him, and he looks up at you, and it's like at the same moment that outside the rain has stopped and the sun is kind of coming through, and there's just this moment of clarity in his eyes, and he says, "That's right. We had we had drinks afterwards at the small pub that was nearby. Oh, what was that place called?"
The what was it? It was the no, I'm trying to remember a good name of it, but
The Flea and Pickle.
there you go. That works. I was
You
going to
say
say
it.
something like the brash duck.
The Brash Duck.
Or
We're gonna
something
go with the
like
Brash Duck. I like that.
the brash mallard.
The Brash Mallard. And he writes that down. And then you see him kind of like during the next few moments while you're kind of like pouring a glass of tea for him or a cup of tea for him and a cup of tea for yourself. You see him not only like writing that down, you see him actually drawing the logo of the Brash Mallard, which he seems to remember. And you're kind of like in this moment of like, huh. And you hear outside as a motor vehicle pulls up to your house.
Just revving
I
the
know who
piss
that
out
is.
of it.
Yeah, it sounds like someone is absolutely
As
gunning it.
you should. Piss away.
You would see that him kind of like distracted. What is that? What sort of monstrosity is out there? Tells us.
Oh, it's just the man and his bike.
You go out there to check in on it because again the rain stopped. Okay.
Yeah.
You pop out. Vincent won't follow you, and you kind of get out to your crew. It's Reed, and it is Willie.
And he'll say, "Oh, Reed, do make sure that your papa shows up to the party."
Oh, okay. If he's not
Vincent.
traveling, I'll get him.
All right. Well, it would mean a lot to Vincent.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
going to
I
mention.
can if I can get up with him, I will.
He's holding the newspaper in his hand still.
Well, uh, we were just driving around because I have made my little motorcycle a bit more useful to the group, and we were doing test runs and such, and thought we'd pop in.
Oh, look at that.
It's amazing.
You so the sidecars are like all just metal, pretty much.
Yeah.
Where's the other one?
Could I? Montgomery will take a look at it. You'd be like, "Oh, you certainly need some padding in this. I think I got something in the shed here. 1 second."
These aren't. This isn't meant for just comfort. There's weight problems, and I don't want a slow bike, Montgomery. What are you offering?
And he literally comes out with just like a seat cushion from a chair.
The question is asked. Montgomery stops and kind of looks over his shoulder, enters the house, comes back out with the bunch of stuff. Like, doesn't even answer your question, just comes out and just starts tinkering away at your sidecar, like, setup.
And I'd walk over and go, not everyone needs comfort. I mean, you have plenty of fur to sit on. It's not as if there isn't cushion.
Okay, I understand. It's your bike.
This seems too tense for what it's called. The music I just chose.
Yeah, it is kind of tense.
Well, it'll be you and Reed riding in it, and I don't think Reed will mind a little more padding. He was bouncing around, but still.
I assume. Okay, Brett, I assume that for a portion of it, you were kind of like hanging your head off to the side, just like wind in your
100%.
face. And like, there's this very energetic otter who was like with you guys. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, he's still sitting there, like, he's gotten off of it now whenever Montgomery was looking at it, and he's kind of like just like wandering around like, that was amazing, oh my god. And his hair on like his fur is like air dried now, so it's a little puffy.
And sadly, at the moment, I only have one extra pair of goggles, because unlike before where you all just shut your eyes so it wouldn't be painful on the ride, I wanted the passenger to be able to see. So Reed was my quote-unquote testing dummy.
And how did it go? You seem to have made it in one piece.
He survived, and I do think adding a seatbelt will be a great advancement for it, but that'll happen later. It will also help hauling what we need to haul.
I think you mean motion prison.
You still could heal a broken arm, not us. So the seatbelt will be required for the older folk. And I would gently tap on Montgomery. But no, we were just driving along, seeing how everything's going. Do you need anything done today with the events that we're gonna have going on? I'm looking around for Vincent to make sure I'm not spilling the beans when I'm not 100% sure if I'm supposed to.
Oh no, he's inside reminiscing. Yeah, we need to procure a tent, maybe some more cake, since it seems that Shelby's endeavors haven't bared any fruit with...
Probably bake a cake.
Oh.
I mean, we do have...
He says as he's pulling out the fish head and rubbing on it for good luck.
Reed, I need you to stop with the fish cakes. We've talked about this man to man. We've talked
I wasn't going to
about
make a fish cake.
You can have your own fish cake. We have discussed that.
Oh, I know. I've made them at the house, but no, I could make you a cake. It's
I
essentially
could
a fish
smell
cake
it from
without
across the river.
Yeah, I'll just make one without the fish this time.
Okay,
Maybe
okay. I trust you. We did it pretty well together last time with Shelby's assistance, of course.
Well, since Shelby is your cake expert, and the plan, as I understand it, is a cake is required. I know fish cake's bad, but remember, there was discussion of purchasing a cake. I want to put that on the table.
I was thinking of a carrot cake.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah, we could go to the bakery and get a carrot cake. I feel that would be the good option.
We also have to figure out a tent, and then I believe tomorrow I will be working on some seating.
Yeah,
A tent.
I'll see if I can find Papal and tell him about the
Or
party.
not a tent, but tent awning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You mean
Awning,
just like a
is that the
covering?
word?
Yeah.
Yeah, covering. Not like a tent sleep-in tent, but like a.
Like an event
Is
tent
awning the
for
right word?
outside.
Like a
Yeah.
circus
Okay.
tent.
No.
Oh.
Pavilion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
A pavilion
Base,
tent. Yeah.
we get the idea.
Yeah,
But yeah,
a bear on a unicycle.
we
Oh,
would
no,
probably
awning's
have
the-
to there would have to be a supply company. That would be kind of a hard thing just to get. So we would have to go into maybe even into London to
Human.
get something like that because that wouldn't just be a thing people make out here.
You could check the village.
I could also try to make one. I mean, if I had the materials, just like a bunch of a small aluminum threading.
I mean, it couldn't be that hard. We could, with our two heads, we could put that together. I have a
Yeah,
well-stocked workbench here.
I feel like we could do it. We would just need to secure a couple dozen yards of fabric and a lot of metal rods.
As you are planning
We
that,
should be.
I'm going to cut from you because we do have one more person to go through, and I think this this segment, is actually going to take longer than one session. My normal pacing planning is obviously not set for this game, so I'm just kind of addressing it now. I definitely want you guys to run with narrative when we have it, and this has been great so far. I just want to make sure you guys understand that, like, my normal pacing of we're going to do a story in a session, I'm not that good at this yet, and I also don't think
No,
I want to be either, because, like, I think it's better to see you guys run rampant. But I do want to address before closing time on the session. Uh, Collywobble Hall and our beautiful boy Shelby. You in the morning sent the letters. Was there anything else that you wanted to do during the rainy morning?
Think so. I just getting the letters out was the real important thing on Shelby's list, and then probably checking in with the rest of the team to see if there's anything you could help with.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to take a kind of like waterlogged walk to the next like home, or do you want to wait until the sun comes out to do that?
Well, I imagine Shelby does not go out in the rain unless absolutely necessary.
Okay, so the second the sun starts peaking, you make your way up the
Yeah.
hill, and then basically as they're having this engagement and are just now getting to discussions as to what a pavilion is called, a pavilion tent is called, and how they might construct one, you're basically coming to the coming to view as you come up the hill far enough, and you're about to descend down to where their house is located.
Hmm.
So you folks see Shelby coming up the hill, coming down the hill.
Shelby! You should try this cart on the back of this motorcycle. It's amazing.
No, 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 no. He can just sit on the back of the motorcycle. That is too much room for him.
I imagine the bat at that point was like pointing and like
Yeah.
instructing, very like trying to be very tutorial. Like this is for big. This is for not big.
One ear, out the other. All of us could ride in the back.
Amazing.
How are we doing, Shelby?
I've finally sent the letter to my grandmother, and I've also sent the letter out to my relative. Um, now that that's done, I'm just seeing if I could be of any assistance.
Well, we need to procure a cake while me and Montgomery build a gazebo or a portable gazebo as such, and procure those items as well.
Shall we head towards the village?
Yeah, you have a bicycle, right?
I do.
Okay. Would you be good getting the cake on the bicycle?
It has a basket.
I feel like that's a very, very happy thing. And I would look over at Montgomery and say, Are you paying for this? Are we trying to do a charity chip in? How are we? We do have to pay these people for these items.
Oh, I'm aware.
I'm happy to purchase the cake. Consider it my gift.
I appreciate that. Everything else, I guess I'm gonna have to sell a few things after the tab is fulfilled, of course, at the pub. But I can make that work. I have enough now to cover whatever, I'm sure. Hopefully, whatever.
Well, don't put yourself out of house and home. I'm always happy to help, as always.
And
But
I can
I
always pay
just
you
wanted
back.
to know.
I'm sure I have enough money for what we need for the pavilion, but
Speaking of gifts, how many fish heads would your cousin like?
none. Read. Thank you very
Not
much.
even if I style them with toothpicks?
No.
Okay, I'll come back to you with more gift ideas before Friday.
Yeah. Thank you. Love the enthusiasm, but thank you.
Shelby, since you're kind of coming at the situation from a different angle, you would notice that during the conversation, bikes and what have you, you would see that the windows curtains are drawn, pulled to the side, and you would see that Vincent's kind of holding his saucer and cup, just kind of looking outside, and he looks probably the happiest you've seen him so far since you've met him. Just watching you guys out there.
Vincent seems to be in a good mood today. Have you told him of what's to transpire?
Oh, he's probably forgotten about the party, but he did have a breakthrough.
A breakthrough?
Yeah, one of the things that you mentioned with the lake.
That's exciting.
Someone's pawpaw has been lying to poor Vincent about what happened or what transpired.
Definitely mine. It's definitely mine. Yep.
And he's still holding the newspaper, and he holds it up, and then he unfurls it because he had it rolled up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely mine.
So, quick bit to just kind of make this very interesting.
Yeah.
You recognize the paper. You've seen it before. Reed. It's in a frame in your papa's house. But it doesn't
That's
say
weird.
what this one's saying. It says something different.
Oh no.
Yeah, the one that he has is
That's good.
different from this one.
The photo's the same. The photo's exactly the same. The graying kind of, just like stylographed, because there were photos back in the 19th century. Yeah, we got photos.
Yeah.
And it's a picture. It shows two boats on the water, an otter and a badger, and they are standing next to a lady who's holding a very ornate looking trophy or cup. You'd also know that that trophy is at your papa's house as well.
So he stole the trophy also.
Drama.
My assumption is right, because he has a trophy that looks like the one in the picture.
Well, it is very much the case that one newspaper and the other newspaper, both, can't be true, as they appear to be identical in every way from Reed's perspective, except that one says that Vincent Abernathy of RiverBank set a national record for sailing time or sailing speed, and the other says that Roscoe Waters set that record.
Hmm. Yeah. So I'll invite him, but he's probably gonna lie about it. We'll never
It's all
get the
right.
truth.
Don't you worry. I'll stop by the newspaper to get a copy directly from them in case this one isn't believed. If
Yeah.
we need to go there, but seeing as you bring that to light, maybe you could convince your papa to bring the trophy as a gift. Seeing as you know his history of being a bit of a fibber.
It's kind of like his prized possession of how he gets people to talk to him is show them the trophy and then
That
tell
is
them
sad.
the story of how he won it.
Yeah,
It's like his most repeated thing.
sailing is very much his favorite pastime.
Yeah, I've heard the story of how he's won it, exactly 400 times. Every time we were eating and we stop eating for a second, he goes, "Did I ever tell you about that time I set that record in my boat?" And then I have to hear the story.
Take care of that before the before the party, probably.
And my presumption is Tabernacle Lake is probably to the southwest of here. The train probably runs near it, but not to it.
Mm.
And then kind of the roads that kind of pass from, possibly even the old Roman road, goes out directly to it. It's a ways away, like it's like a good half day's trip, you know, walking. But there's a little hamlet or spot in between. It's comfortable enough a trip, and then most people who go down to the lake will kind of go there for like a weekend or something to that effect. But yeah, that's where Roscoe spends a lot of his time too. Roscoe's home is probably closer to. I mean, he probably lives. I don't know. Where does he live? Any of the unmarked houses, it would be fine. Brent.
Let's see.
He can also live off
You
map.
said the lake. I would say if the lake is southwest, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely lives near the lake because that's where
So
he stores his sailboat, like off the back of it,
so
off
south
the
from
back of
here.
his house, going out into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So about a half day's trip. So he'll probably get his letter tomorrow. Okay. Just looking at time. Pretty much winding down. I think the cake purchasing bit will be best left for the beginning of next session. But it sounds like based on what we've discussed, that is where we're going next, right? On Monday, um, we want to gather everybody onto the bike and the other bike and make our way to purchase, or are we splitting up again and um, only one person's going to buy the cake? Carrot cake, I believe, is what was requested by
Yeah.
Montgomery.
Well,
Is it as fruit vegetable?
me and Montgomery are going to be working on the whole tent situation. So
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
So then, okay, I got you. So Shelby will be going
That
to get
leaves, yeah,
the cake.
me to go get the cake.
Yep.
you can take Reed. I don't know what
Reed
Reed's doing.
doesn't fit on the bike, so unless Reed has some way to keep up with the bike, because we're going all the way into town to get the cake, I think he's going to travel faster on his own.
I would say
True.
too. Again, it is very much the thought that, and Reed, you've already kind of hinted at this, and I want to make sure you're aware of what we're kind of putting down. It is very likely Roscoe doesn't show unless, like, even with the invitation, it is very likely that he doesn't show unless coaxed by someone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably
So
gonna have to go to his house to convince him.
yeah, it's about
Was
a
my thought.
it's about a half a day's trip walk wise. If you're just kind of making your
Yeah.
way walking. But if you had a bike, you could probably cut it out in like about a half an hour, an hour. Motorcycle, anyways, not like a bicycle.
Yeah. I don't own one, so I'd have to hoof it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, suggestions and thoughts for what you could be planning and doing. We'll go ahead and just leave that there, kind of open ended. If you want to discuss it in the chat amidst the week, that's absolutely fine. If we want to kind of settle up on what we're doing for sure, for sure. Again, it's about halfway through Monday. We'll cover it there. I will leave it with just stating that it does look like Vincent is very much in a better state, very happy. Um, and the vibe that you get, Montgomery, when it comes to your attention, either by Shelby kind of acknowledging it as he did, or just kind of looking at him as it's happening, it seems like he's very happy because the presence of you, kind of like still engaging in adventures, even though you're not that much younger than he is. He's a bit kind of long of tooth just because of the nature of his you know forgetfulness. But it seems like he's kind of like very happy that you're still kind of committing to doing things and adventuring. He doesn't know what you're doing. He has no idea what's going on, but it seems like you're building stuff and doing stuff, and that seems to make him very happy. And that is where we'll end this session of RiverBank. We will continue this part next week. See you then.